Assalamu alaikum friends. This is a second lecture on chemistry on topic periodic classification of element by me Shahab sir. In earlier topics we have learned various interesting facts about the elements and earlier attempts of classification of elements like Doberanier's triad, in which the scientist grouped three elements that shows the similarities in chemical properties and called them as a triad. And the interesting thing is that first element and just a minute important thing is that first element and last element, if we add up their atomic masses and it by 2, we get the element that is in the middle. There are three groups of Doberanier's triad. Second types of classification which we have studied last time is Newland's laws of octaves. In Newland's laws of octaves, total 56 elements are covered, and they are arranged uh, in a way like sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, that is the tone or note of the saptak, and western note is do re mi fa so la ti, like this. These are all Newland's laws of these are called as Newland's laws of octaves. So we have seen the various drawback of Newland's laws of octave, that that it is applicable up to the 20th number of our periodic table element, that is the calcium, and also only 56 boxes are there in the Newland's periodic table, and somewhere he places two elements at a time that shows the different properties in a same notes in an octave. Like in the do note, he places cobalt and nickel. In the cobalt and nickel, like that. These are the drawbacks of the elements. And another one thing that Newland think that there will be no discoveries of the element in the futures, so he doesn't have an idea to put where to put that those elements which were discovered in the future. So this law work well with the lighter elements only, not with the heavier. So we have seen we have just recap what we have seen in previous period. Now we will move to the actual topic, that is Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so Mendeleev's periodic table, actually a Russian scientist Dmitry Mendeleev developed the periodic table, and when he started his work of making a periodic table, at that time only 63 elements were known at that time. How much elements were known? 63. And the name of the scientist is Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay, and what he did is he basically arranged all that 63 elements that were known at his time with an increasing order of at their atomic masses. Suppose one element is having one atomic mass, second is having two atomic mass, third is having three atomic mass, fourth is having fourth atomic mass. He arranged all these elements with their increasing atomic masses. See, these are the big ones are having a greater atomic mass that of the first one. So he arranged all that 63 elements uh, and according to their increasing atomic masses. Then he transformed this into a periodic table of the elements according to their physical and chemical properties. Most important thing is that Mendeleev consider their physical and chemical properties. For example, gold. Okay, gold is an element. He consider his physical property as a his its shining nature, its malleability and ductility, means it is we are able to form thin sheets of the gold. Okay, these are the physical. What is the chemical property? It is very stable. It is not reacting with the environmental oxygen. It is not reacting with the other metals that are coming in contact with it. That is a chemical property. So he studied or he examined all the chemical and physical properties, and he taken these things into consideration while making his periodic table. Okay, this is the first time who actually this is the first time where this great scientist taken the help of these physical and chemical properties. Also, Mendeleev also what happened, Mendeleev organized the periodic table on the basis of their chemical and physical properties. That what I have I have told you right now. Now, apart from all these things, apart from all these things, Mendeleev also given the formulas of hydrides and oxide in his periodic table. Okay, he also given melting point. He also considered melting point, boiling points, and densities of the element with respect to of their hydrides and oxides. Hydride means if an element make, suppose this is a carbon and it make a bond with hydrogen, that is CH4, you know all, that is methane. Okay, so that is methane. This is a hydride of carbon. See, this is carbon and it make oxide with oxygen, means CO2. This is the oxide of the carbon. Same way, different element make different hydride and oxides. What are that basic formulas that are given in Mendeleev's periodical table in the groups? Okay, that are the formulas of the that element. Instead of R, you have to just put the name of that element, so you will get the oxide formula of that. Instead of this R, you have to put only the name of that element, symbol of that element, and you will get the hydride of that element. That is a very good work by the Mendeleev. Another thing is that Mendeleev, he examined the relationship between the atomic masses of the element, their physical and chemical properties. Okay, and he also made 63 cards. At that time, 63 elements were known. So, uh, just a minute. At the time where he was building his periodic table, at that time only 63 elements were discovered. So he made a one card for each element. He made one card for each element and put the name of that element in particular that card. And suppose this is a element and this is the card of A element. Below that, he listed all its physical, chemical properties, whatever that is known at that time. Okay, likewise, he made 63 cards. And finally, he arranged all 63 cards or the elements into 8 vertical columns and 6 horizontal rows and called them groups and periods respectively. Finally, what he did? he arranged all 63 elements into 8 vertical. This is 8 vertical. Okay, this is 8 vertical. This 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, this way. These 8 vertical columns, they are called as groups. They are called as groups. So vertical columns, these all are groups. Say, see, this is group 1, group 2, group 3, vertical column group 4, so on till 8. These are the 8 groups. And this horizontal, this way, let me change the color so you can understand. These horizontal rows, that are columns, horizontal rows, these horizontal rows are called as periods. They are called as periods. So basically there were 6 horizontal rows. Okay, means 6 periods are there. Now this is a very updated version of it, which is having 12 periods and 12 periods and 8 groups and 12 periods. Okay, and he published it in 1972. This one is published in 1972. That is a very updated version. One of the most important thing that the Mendeleev observed in his periodic table, while he is arranging all these things, is that he observed a periodic reoccurrence of the element with the similar physical and chemical properties. On the basis, what he observed, that there is a periodic, means suppose this is a first element. After some time, the element that might be 9 or that might be a 11th one, they show a certain similarities between all these elements. He observed that the periodic reoccurrence of the element with the similar properties means first is somewhat similar to the 9th one, and 9th one is somewhat similar to the 11th one. 11th is somewhat similar to the 13th one, and 13th, so on. Likewise, there is some similarities between chemical and physical properties. So on the basis of this observation, he formulated a periodic law. Let me clearly say that is a periodic law. So he formulated the periodic law. And what is that periodic law? Basically, that is the properties of element are periodic function of their atomic masses. Means what? Element show a particular similarities between its earlier element, and that are periodic function of their atomic masses. Let me just clear it. Okay, on this periodic table itself, we try to understand this law. Properties of element are periodic function of their atomic masses. Means what? After a certain period of time, say this is a hydrogen. Okay, there were no other element discovered at that time. It shows the similarities with lithium, it shows the similarities with sodium, it shows the similarities with potassium. They are showing the similarities. So group 1 basically shows the similarities with each other. They are metals. Okay, so after a particular atomic mass is attained, they shows the similarities. Barium shows the similarities with magnesium, calcium, and all these things. They are showing the similarities. This is also called as a periodic function of their atomic masses. Okay, or you can think of like that also. Okay, this is lithium is 7, and this atomic weight is increasing, atomic mass is increasing this way. When it comes to the 23, it shows the similarities with the lithium, and this mass is going on increasing on all these elements. When it comes to 39, it shows the similarities that of the sodium. Likewise, all the elements that are showing the similarities, so the law is that properties of the elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. That is Mendeleev's periodic law. Okay, these are the great work done by the Mendeleev. So Mendeleev's made this periodic table, and there are various achievement in his periodic table. One of them is that after the discovery of noble gases and radioactive element, another version of Mendeleev's periodic table was published in 1905. In this year, at that time, zero group is added just before the periodic table, in that the all noble gases were placed, and seventh period is specifically dedicated for the radioactive elements. Another beauty is that in this the increasing atomic masses are is considered. These are the few beauties of the Mendeleev's periodic table, and he knows that the science is very fast moving. In the future time, there is a more discoveries about the elements, and we have to place, or we have to keep some spaces for them. So he basically left some gaps. Okay, he basically left some gaps. That is what is told over here. He Mendeleev kept vacant places in periodic table for the elements not discovered till then. So basically he put the three gaps, but he knows that the element in future, uh, the element will be discovered and will be placed over here, shows such properties, and he uh, named that elements are Eka boron, Eka aluminum, and Eka silicon from the known neighbors of their atomic masses were indicated as Eka boron, Eka aluminum, Eka silicon. He suggested their atomic masses also 44, 68, and 72 respectively. Later on, when the science uh, investigated and researched, then scandium is discovered in just in place of the Eka boron. Gallium is discovered just in place of Eka aluminum, and germanium is in place of Eka silicon. So this is the genius, he is the genius, or his mind is. I think you convinced that he is very pioneer in his work. That's why he predicted, and that prediction came true. Apart from all these things, he also predicted some of the formulas, that is called as, he predicted Eka aluminum. That is, the element is not discovered, but Eka means before aluminum. That element's name is, wait a second, that element is Eka aluminum, and he said that its atomic mass would be 68, its density would be 5.9, its melting point would be low, its chloride formula will be ECl3, means that uh, that element would be discovered and it will form chloride, uh, that will form its chloride with the three atoms of chlorine. Oxide formula is this, and they are amphoteric in nature, amphoteric oxide. All these things he predicted, but later on when the gallium is found, and what they discovered is atomic mass is somewhat similar to the 69.7, and its density is also there. Its melting point is just 30.2 degrees Celsius. Its chlorides are GaCl through, that is what he predicted, oxide, that is what he predicted, and it is also the amphoteric oxide. So these are the marvelous work done by these scientists. Okay, he kept some vacant spaces, what we have seen. Mendeleev also corrected some of the atomic weight of the atoms and some special elements like indium, beryllium, uranium. Earlier, the indium's weight were earlier the indium's weight were, that is not given over here, indium in its atomic weight. Earlier it is thought that 76, but he said that no, its atomic weight is 113. So later on it is discovered that its atomic weight is, that is the right one, that is 113. Another thing is that he give a proper place to the some elements in the periodic table according to their properties. So previously it is determined the atomic mass of beryllium is 14.9, but he changed and corrected that value to 9.4. So beryllium is placed just before the boron in a periodic table. All these things are the work he did. He also make a zero group, and this, in this zero group, noble gases were discovered or put into that group. He considered the similarities of the element rather than the atomic masses. He he just considered the similarities of that element rather than the atomic masses. Last but not least is the there was no place reserved for the noble gases in original periodic table. Just a minute. But like noble gases, when such helium, neon, or argon were discovered at the end of 19th century, Mendeleev created the zero group that I have told earlier, and he and that zero group is fitted very well, and all gases are placed in that. Apart from all these things, there are some demerits. So what are that demerits? Okay, the demerits are, now let's take example, whole number atomic. Apart from all this, it is having demerits, that is a uh, that is the whole number of atomic masses of element cobalt and nickel is the same. Means the atomic mass of this and atomic mass of this are the same. So whether to place this element in the single group or they have to place somewhere else, this ambiguity is present in the periodic Mendeleev's periodic table also. Another thing is isotopes. So isotopes have no position as for the isotopes in the Mendeleev's periodic tables. What are isotopes? The isotopes are the just the similar, say one element, that is a uh, hydrogen. It is having three isotopes. Hydrogen is having three isotopes, deuterium and tritium also, apart from hydrogen itself. So there is no place for placing all these isotopes. What are isotopes? They are having a same chemical properties, but physical properties is changes in the way that they are having a different number of neutrons and protons in their nucleus, that are isotopes. So there is no place for the isotopes when they are arranging. Third demerit is that when the elements are arranging in an increasing order of atomic masses, rise in atomic masses does not appear uniform. That we have seen. There is no uniform at, means first number 1, number 2, number 3, likewise there is no atomic masses. Instead of what we have seen in second period and group first, we see lithium and its atomic mass is 7. Just after that, in second group second period, there is barium, and barium's atomic mass is 9.4. so where is this 8 is gone? Okay, so there is no uniformity in the increasing atomic masses, so it is not possible therefore to predict how many elements were discovered between two heavy elements. So in two different heavy elements, how many different elements were discovered, we can't say that. Okay, like if we say that indium's atomic mass is 113, his and its neighbor is scandium, its atomic mass is 118. We can't say that only 5 elements will be discovered in future in between these two. There may be more, so we can't predict. So this is a one drawback of this periodic table. And position of hydrogen. Now basically, what is the position of hydrogen, that issue? uh, Wait a minute. Position of hydrogen. So hydrogen basically uh, is not justified its position. It shows the great similarities with alkali metals, that is group 1, and it also shows the similarities that are of halogens also. So it shows the similarities to the alkalis metal also, and it shows the similarities with the uh, halogen also. So I will clear all this doubt. It shows the similarities with the alkali metals. So sodium, oh my god, oh my god, this sodium is alkali metal. Uh, it form NaCl with the chlorine, so NaCl. So like the sodium, hydrogen is also showing the similarities, and it is forming HCl. Like sodium, when it reacted with oxygen, Na2O, sodium oxide, it form H2O, okay, water. Like when alkali metal sodium is forming a bond with the sulfur, Na2S, same way hydrogen is also showing the similarities, H2S. Okay, so this similarity shows that its nature is more towards the alkali metal. Like how the sodium is acting, hydrogen is also acting. But the thing is that it shows the similarities with the halogen also. What is that similarities? Usually halogens, they form I2, iodine, I2, Cl2. Okay, all these things are the uh, halogens. Same way the hydrogen is forming H2, like the Cl2. When it comes to forming a bond with the sodium with the metals, NaH. When it comes to form a bond with the non-metals, CH4. Same that of the halides, CaCl3. So halides or halogens. Same way the sodium is same way the hydrogen is showing the similarities with the alkali metals and halogen family also. So the position is not clearly mentioned in the Mendeleev's periodic table. And apart from all these 3 or 4 drawbacks, I am having some more drawbacks. You should consider that the position of lanthanides and actinides are not provided separate places, that we will study in future inshallah. Anomalous place of the coinage metals with alkali metals, means the metals that are used to make coins they are placed with the sodium also. Sodium is such a soft metal, you can cut it with your knife, and we are using coins that are having a very round and big, very hard. Position of elements of the group 8, the 3 triads of transition elements, that are iron, manganese, chromium, copper, that are placed in group 8 of the periodic table, they should be given a separate position. These are the extra things that I have told. And now this lesson is over. We will see a new periodic law, modern periodic table, in the next lecture. Thank you.